Good afternoon and welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you're all having a great Sunday. It's a beautiful morning in South Africa. Hope you all had a wonderful week last week. Hasn't been a lot of market movement. We have been trading corrections still, and we are still trading them. Doesn't mean we can't trade when we're in corrections. We can still trade. So as usual, we've got an amazing webinar. We've got an amazing market analysis lined up for today. So stay glued. Let's get started. So we're going to start. Just don't forget this video. It's about an hour and a half. So if you are only interested in specific pairs, you can only look at those. And this is how you can do that. Let me just get this video up here. If you come to my channel and you select any of my videos, any of my weekly videos here. If you're looking just for a specific pair, you select any of my videos, go to the tab that says show more. There, click on show more. Click on show more and you will see all these links. So these links takes you through to the analysis of each and every pair. So you do not have to toggle around to look for a specific pair. So about 2 or 3 hours after I post the video, you will find these links. So they work amazing. So you can use them to backtest and verify the authenticity of this webinar, the accuracy of this webinar. So that helps a lot. Okay, so our next course, we've just concluded our last course about a week ago. So the next one is going to be on the 6th of, just make sure of the date, 6th of August, and it's a 2 weeks course. It's $529 US once off. Okay, so that covers you for 2 years. You have a membership in our group for 2 years. And some of the things that we do in our group is daily webinars. So what you guys see here is a market overview. In our group, we do daily market analysis, forecasting the moves for the next trading session, looking at entries, areas to move to break even, and basically whole trade management, because we don't do trade management here, we just forecasting. So that's an advantage. So I don't expect you to be a professional Elliott Waver in just 2 weeks. That's why you've got mentorship for 2 years, and you can stay there in the group for 2 years until you feel that you are ready to trade. Okay, so let's get started with today's market analysis. We're gonna start with a trade recap. Okay, we use the platform Slack. It's an amazing platform. Right, so let's look at the trades, some of the trades that we have been looking at in the last couple of webinars. All right, so just look at the ones that I've posted today. So we're starting with pound JPY. I'm showing you this because we analyzed this here together. This is a daily chart that was showing that we're gonna need to drop one, go back up, and come back down. We are now around this area. So 1, 2, 3, 4 moves have been completed, and it's going well. You can go check on your charts. That was a daily chart. So this one was showing you the 4-hour chart. This move here has already completed, and now we're looking for this move that is currently playing out to the downside. We're gonna update that when we do the analysis, live analysis, in a few minutes. That's going really great. So that is how it looks on the daily chart. You can see there was the forecast down, up, and it is now coming down. Okay, has already dropped more than that actually. So it's going really well. All right, so US dollar JPY, this was 2 weeks back when we forecasted that this was gonna drop one more here, and you're gonna get this correction, and you had a guaranteed trade to the upside to the blue box. Told you guys this is almost guaranteed. You should have got this trade. That's about 130 pips into the blue box, and obviously the blue box is a reaction area. We've already started the drop to the downside here. Okay, so you can see that is the drop on US dollar JPY. Okay, so euro, I think I've already shown this last week already. Let's look at the latest ones. So this is EURJPY. If you go check your charts, this is already played out. It's already giving us a move like that. You can just verify on your charts. Okay, so let's have a look here. This was last week on EUROCAD. I want the latest ones. The latest ones. Let's just scroll a little bit more down. So this one was an interesting one. I was watching some of my old videos and I was looking at this analysis on pound US dollar. I've shown you guys the whole analysis on the full labeling on US dollar pound, pound US dollar, showing that this was going to drop one more here and go all the way up before we drop. I even did a webinar, I think it was sometime in April, where I showed that pound is going to have a possible potential 3,000 pip move to the downside. We're already in this move to the downside. Okay, granted that it did not get to this level, it has just tagged here, but we know what structure it is making if it just takes and drops. Okay, so that's how well that is going. So this is just the current analysis on pound. If you watch that video on my channel, I think it was somewhere in April, you can see that we're actually buying pound here, anticipating that it was going to reverse somewhere there. Okay, comes down and then drops like that as predicted. All right, so now this was pound cash. So just look at how we follow this one. So you can see here there was that guaranteed trade, almost certain guaranteed trade, 100 pips to the 150 pips to the upside. You can see the next move here. We reached that 100 pips to the upside, and now it drops from the blue box. I updated this one last week that we're gonna get a move here into the blue box and further move to the downside. Let's see if we've got that one. Okay, didn't update, but you can see here that the full target has now been reached up to this level. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 moves have been completed up to that level. Let's just show you how that played out. Okay, that is that up one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves have been completed, and we have now reached the target at that level. So we're going to update what the potential trades will be from here, whether we're going to come down or whether we're going to go up. Okay, this is just trade recap, so we're not doing analysis as yet. We're going to go into that just now. Okay, so that is playing amazingly well. All 3 moves forecasted, playing out. Now this is EUROCAD, similar. We started taking it when it corrected here, a guaranteed move into the blue box and a reversal from the blue box. Now looking for this downside here as a target. Let's have a look. This is how it played out. Went into the blue box and now reversed from the blue box. Following strategy to the peep. This was the last week's update. As much as we already had the move from the blue box, we updated that we're going to need to push a little bit back up into the blue box before we get a further drop. Okay, and that is exactly how that is playing out. And we have analyzed all these trades right here. There is that move into the blue box, and that is that drop that you're getting there. So I'm not going to update here what the next move is. We'll do that when we do the market analysis. Okay, so this is a repeat. This is pound JPY. We've already looked at pound JPY. I was just showing that it's going well, and the US dollar JPY as well. Okay, so that's going really well. And I don't know if I've got Sun Pharmaceutical here, but we're going to have a look at it on the chart. So this trades is this what we're trading at the moment. Even if the market is not moving fast, we're still able to make a lot of money. Okay, so let's get started with today's analysis. Let's have a look. Correlation between the sorry guys, I just want to press pause 1 second. All right, so let's get started now. This is Euro US dollar and the dollar index correlation. Okay, so something very interesting. We just finished a market correlation seminar last week with our group, and it is very interesting how how you can just think market correlation, how you can just take market correlation is in a blanket approach. There is a lot of technical things that you need to look at. For example, the correlation coefficient. It is very important because the currencies, as much as they are correlated, and no one currency can be isolated completely from the market, there is a correlation coefficient which tells you or gives you the strength of the correlation. So you can have correlation between US dollar JPY and gold, but that correlation can only be maybe 60 or 70%. So how do you know what the strength is? So that is something that one needs to learn to be able to understand correlation. But right now, I'm looking at the correlation between euro and the dollar index, and their correlation coefficient is about 94%. So which is a very strong correlation. And there's something very interesting on these pairs. So you guys know and have been following the structure that we've been looking at on these two pairs, and I'm going to show you those two structures on both pairs. So euro US dollar, just looking at the last string, we're looking at this as a 1-2, and we're looking at the last piece here as an internal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're still not sure if this is a truncated fifth. But if you look, if you're using correlation, the one pair can tell you the structure better than the other. Now, if you're looking at the dollar index, the same structure, 1, 2 in the higher degree. And if you look at this one, you can see that it's got a clearer structure, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is this a 5 here, or is this giving us an ending diagonal? Okay, so if it's giving us an ending diagonal, that is even clearer, because if that is the case, look what is going to happen here. Let's just show that diagonal. You see, this one is making an ending diagonal, but euro US dollar is not necessarily making a clear ending diagonal. It is just going sideways. Okay, so if this is an ending diagonal, what do we expect from this pair? We expect that it's going to break down possibly in 3 waves. Okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it should correct in 3 waves. So if it's correcting to the downside, what should happen to this one? Even though we cannot see the structure clearly, here, we know that at some point this should have a 3-wave move up because of correlation. Okay, not only because of correlation, because this structure will be following a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 truncated 5th wave there, and this will be your ABC move. ABC move here. Okay, so similarly here, this will be making a possible ABC move. Like, so this is actually your A move, and this will be your B move here, and we'll be looking for a C to the upside. Very, very clear. So this is how market correlation can help you. You can see one structure from one pair much better than from the other pair. Okay, all right. So now, very interesting. If you look at these two pairs, and I'm going to go into today, I'm going to go into DXY alone. Let's go into the DXY chart and look something that is very interesting on the DXY. Okay, so let's look at the DXY on the daily. If this is an ending diagonal, that means this is your wave 4, this is your wave 3, and we are building a wave 5. And your wave 5 will be 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 or 5, like that. And if that is the case, look at the confirmation that this is actually your wave 5. This is your confirmation. Look how deep this divergence is. So you are going to have a deep fall at some point on the dollar index. And this fall, even if it's happening in 3 waves, we know what that is going to do to the euro US dollar, EU. EU will have an opposite move to the upside. So this is not necessarily going to drop tomorrow, okay? But you have to keep an eye. We've got an indicator that we use to confirm that this is actually dropping out. But if you look at the structure, just the structure alone, you can see that this is possibly 1, 2, this 3 is too short, could be a 3 here, and another push higher here for a 5, okay? So either way, it doesn't matter. We will know when this is complete that this is the move, okay? So that is how clear that is for now. So now let's go into the lower time frame and see how this is playing out. Let's go to Euro US dollar. Okay, now Euro US dollar, we have been tracking this for the last couple of days, and I've been sending updates on YouTube and on TradingView as well. So let's just have a look at how this is playing out. Okay, so if I'm looking on the 1 hour chart, let's do that and show the labeling there. All right, so if you look on the 1 hour chart, this is going very perfectly well, because go and watch also the video that I showed on the 4 patterns that are happening on this one pair. So now we're looking at this one as a W move, as an X move, and we're still looking for the Y move to complete into the blue box. Okay, what has been happening in the last week? So this is what was happening last week. We had a bit of a push higher. We had a move down. But we could see what was happening when those moves were happening. So because we also had a pulsing move to the upside, but look what happens here. We had another one. We had a one correction, move down, and after that you could clearly see that you had another push higher. When it did this, when it made this move, we could clearly see that we were going to get this one to the downside into this blue box here. Okay, making this a 1, 2, 3 wave move, and now we're looking for this to possibly push all the way up to the blue box. Okay, so now you've got this flag here. You can take this trade, but you need to only move to break even when it reaches this level, because there's a possibility that your X is only here. Let me show you here. There's a possibility that your X, why doesn't it want to move? Doesn't want to move my X. Okay, let's do that. Try again. There's a possibility that your X is only, let's take it off. I don't know why it doesn't want to move. It's moving the whole thing. Let's get my WXY here. WXY in red. Let's do that in red. Red minor. Okay, so this is what I mean here. So there's a possibility that your X is only here. And that will mean that your structure is 1, 2, 3 waves before you get a push higher. And that will now not longer be a zigzag as we've been focusing here, but rather a flat correction here. But I'm still more inclined for this to be our X right here, giving us this structure. It makes more sense to have it looking like this, WX and then a Y. Okay, so there's a very nice entry here that you can take and take it all the way up to the blue box. Okay, so let's keep an eye and see how that one plays out. You had a bit of a bounce from the blue box, but doesn't mean anything as yet until this breaks to the upside. Okay, looking on the DXY on the smaller time frame, you'll see that you also had a move to the downside, a passing move to the downside, and it's making this correction. So you may get a move to the downside short term. Okay, so there's not a guarantee that it's gonna go all the way down like that, because there's a possibility for it to do this, that, down, and then like that. And Euro US dollar will be doing the complete opposite as well. Okay, so that's how you can look at Euro US dollar. Let's go and look now at the rest of the pairs. Okay, so now let's look at pound US dollar. Pound US dollar, let's go for hour. Daily, let's go look at the daily. So there's a structure that I want you to see. On the daily, it looks like you're having a move like this on the daily. So daily looks like you're getting a 1, 2, an expanding ending diagonal. Expanding ending diagonal, where this is your first move, 1, 2, possible 3, 4, 5, a bounce in 3 waves before we resume lower. Okay, so for now, what you need to look out for is a correction here that can come back here to complete the wave 4 before we come down for the 5 and the 3 waves. So keep an eye for that move. Okay, so in the lower time frame, so if we're looking for euro to bounce, so you should be looking for the pound to bounce as well. Okay, but this one is not the clearest. It has made a move to the downside So it's possible that you can make this one, and this one becomes the 3 waves move for it to give us a 1, 2, 3 into this diagonal to give us that waveform. Okay, so let's keep an eye. So you may get that first drop to the downside because of this. All right, so that's pound US dollar, not very clear at this stage, but euro US dollar CAD. Let's have a look at US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD is one of the trades we showed last week that you're gonna have this one coming here into the blue box. This is actually the blue box here projected. I just taken it out. See how powerful the blue box is right here, and then you get a reversal there. Okay, so now there are two things that could happen here. This can bounce here and give us a flat correction like that, or it can just continue. So I'm more inclined for this to continue with the move to the downside, especially if it gives you a 3-wave move like that. This can just carry on with the move to the downside like that. Not only that, it can do that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 up and then down, giving you this flat there and continue. If it gives you this one, then it's even better for an entry if you're not in. We in from here, okay? We in from here, and you saw in the analysis how we did this in the last couple of weeks. It has just all the CAD pairs have been spot on actually. All right, so that is US dollar CAD. You just need to wait for and see how this one corrects. A push higher here, you need to be careful if you're buying here because this can just come back here. All right, and even if you are selling, also be careful that when you sell, you at least sell after the clearance of this level, and not because it is a support and resistance level. It is because if we break that level, that means that this structure would have been completed and we are ready to go to the downside. Okay, let's just go look at the daily and see what we're targeting here on the daily. All right, on the daily, so this is the move that you're looking for here. Let's just take this off. Okay, I'm not gonna take it off. There's a reason why I put it there. Okay, on the daily, so this is why I'm saying this may still continue to the downside, all the way down to this level. Not because this is a trend line, okay? Let's just have a look here, because we are looking for this to give us a, let's show that. I hope you can see my chart with all that labeling there. Let's have a look, show you clearly. All right, so we are looking for this move. You see here, there's a 3-wave move that is a W, yellow W. There's a W, there's a X. We're looking for a Y. Okay, so we're looking for this to give us a move here, possibly push out lower before you get another move to the upside. Why are we looking for that move? What I had shown here with the move, with what I've just switched off there, is this move. That this move that is currently happening is similar to this one here. So here you had, if I just show that, you had a WXY exact move as well. If you just look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not 5 waves impulse, but rather a 11 swing sequence. That is a WXY exact. So that's what you're expecting. You can see the similarity between these two structures. So as much as we're expecting this to drop a little bit more further, okay, for now it is a 7 swing sequence, but if it pushes higher, it will give us an 11 swing sequence, and we'll be looking to sell it when it goes there, same way that we sold it at that level. Okay, so let's keep an eye and see how that plays out. Right now, it is still bearish. It is correcting there. You can still keep selling it, but be careful now. It is at almost at a reversal zone. Okay, so that is US dollar CAD, US dollar CHF. Okay, so US dollar CHF, very interesting, spot on analysis. I showed you last week how we forecasted that whole correction, like every single leg in this correction, this 1, 2, 3, 4, played out exactly as we forecasted that it's going to happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move. If you go watch the video 3 weeks ago on US dollar CHF, this correction happened. And I did say that as much as we know what is going on here, doesn't mean that we're trading this move, because this is not a nice tradable move. Obviously, depending on your strategy. According to my strategy, I prefer this kind of moves. Okay, and I see there's a nice move starting to play out here. Now I can be interested in US dollar chief for a move at least back to this level. Okay, so the reason why I don't like trading in this kind of corrections is that you get a move to the upside, all those gains are given back. You get a move up, all those gains are retraced all the way 100%. You get this move to the upside, all those gains are retraced. So now I'm looking for a nice, easy trade that won't be retraced when you take it. It's a very nice corrective structure, and you're looking for this to come down here minimum before we go to the upside. So I'm interested in this move because it's almost a certainty, and I'm interested in this move because it is almost guaranteed. Okay, so those are the kind of moves that we are interested in. Okay, why is this one guaranteed? Because here you had a 1, 2, 3 move up, 1, 2, 3 move up, 1, 2, 3 back, and then making this a 3-wave move, and you're expecting a 3-wave move here, the same way you had a 3-wave move there. Okay, let me repeat if I did that too fast. So that's 1, 2, 3 down. Okay, if you look here, you've got this regular flat here. You've got 1, 2, 3 up. You've got 1, 2, 3 up. Now you've got this move to the downside. You're looking for this to make 1, 2, 3 similar as this one. So that becomes a big flat correction before you get a move to the upside. And that's how you look at it. And that is a simple WXY move to the upside. So now we're looking to complete this move to the downside, minimum to this level, minimum to this level. So that is supporting that upside on Euro US dollar. Okay, so look out for that one. We already have a passing move. Look out for correction here. Chief will be very interesting in the next coming trading session, and it looks like it's going to get out of that structure as well. Okay, so that's CHFJPY. AUD US dollar. Okay, AUD US dollar. Interesting structure forming there. We've got 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 back, 1, 2, 3 up. Okay, can this be a running flat? Okay, so let's see how this one plays out. Could be a correction here for a small push to the upside and a move down, and maybe a slight move to that level in the next coming session. So just keep an eye on this, because we're looking at this because there's an impulsive move here. Let's see if we get a corrective structure here. That move may not go very far. It might come back down like that and come back up like that, making this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, giving you this corrective structure for further downside. Okay, so you just need to be patient, a little bit patient with the AUD US dollar, New Zealand US dollar. Look at New Zealand. New Zealand similar to AUD. So you've got to move up, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, giving you this corrective structure here. Can this be giving you this move here, back here, and another one like that, giving you a simple 1, 2, 3-wave move before you get a drop to the downside. So watch out for this corrective structure here. Watch out for this one. Okay, so that is New Zealand. And I think that concludes all the US dollar pairs. Now we can look at US dollar ZAR. US dollar ZAR, two things can happen here. You had a 3-wave move to the downside. Okay, can this be an expanding flat here? If this is an expanding flat, then that means then you can get a little bit of a 3-wave push to the upside and a further move to the downside, making this a 3-wave move down, pull back in 3 waves, and 1, 2, 3 waves. And looks like US dollar ZAR will still have a push higher, minimum back to retest the previous high. And there's a possibility that it can even break it and go even further. Okay, so for now, we're looking for this. It's going down correctively in 3 waves like that. So we just need to see how this is going to play out here. And if we're going to get a nice flag here and a drop, and we're going to be taking it to the upside. Okay, so that's US dollar ZAR. Now we can look at the yen pairs. We start with pound yen. All right, so let's look at pound JPY. So pound JPY is the one that we've been showing. If I just show you the structure again, I've shown you this a couple of times. Let's go through that motion again, see the waves that it goes through and how easy it is to trade this one. Let's go daily. I think we can see the structure on the daily as well. So this is, we can't see it on the daily, so we have to be on the 4-hour chart. Let's take it to the 4-hour. Let's take it to the 4-hour. So you can just take a snapshot of the labeling there. I hope it makes sense to you. Let's go look on the 4-hour. I like this structure because it's so straightforward and so easy to trade. Easy money here. So now if you look from the completion of this W move here, it just goes in three waves of the same degrees. Now look at this. 1, 2, 3 waves completes the red X. 1, 2, you've got a running flat there. Get a running flat like that. So that's 1, 2, 3 waves completes the red Y. 1, 2, 3 completes the red W. 1, 2, 3 waves completes the red X. 1, 2, 3 waves completes the red Y. So 1, 2, that's why we were looking for this drop and the move up to complete this 1, 2, 3. Now, what are we looking for? We are now looking for 1, 2, 3 waves. So minimum, we are looking for pound to come back to that level. Okay, so we're looking for it to come back to the previous low. Let's go zoom in a little bit. So you can see that it's just going in 3 waves. It's just going in 3 waves. So here, you may get another correction here. This one does not have to be big. You can see that this one was a little bit deeper. So this one can be just the same size as this one for a more drop back to that level. Okay, so pound still has some way to go to the downside. Okay, so keep selling pound yen. Right, so now let's look at US dollar JPY. US dollar JPY, very interesting. We have to see the daily structure that we've been looking at for the last year, over a year. Okay, so this is how the structure looks. And so somebody posted a chart showing that there's actually a triangle there. It does not follow the rules. This cannot be a triangle. Somebody was looking at this as a triangle. Absolutely not a triangle. It cannot be a triangle. Okay, does not follow the rules of a triangle. If you go and read the book. All right, so let's have a look here. We're looking at the structure, and it's a simple structure like this. You had a pulsing move here, and we looked at this last year already in September. We were looking at this structure as a 1, as a 2, and we're looking at this one as a 1, 2, 3 wave move. So we're looking at this as the third move. So if you look at the lower degrees here, this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's a zigzag combined with a expanding flat like that. Simple. Okay, so we forecasted this 104 last year in September that we're gonna come. So in April we hit 104 and we're coming back up with that level. We're coming back up with this move. So what do we think? What do we expect this to play out as? So we've got a pulsing move. Remember we had 1, 2. And this is the move that we traded, the guaranteed move to the upside here that we traded last week. Okay, I said if you get that move, you should share the video or like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. So I'm expecting that this may end with a diagonal here like this, something like this, pull back in 3 waves, come back in another 3 waves, making this a deeper corrective structure for another move up. Possibility are for these to go back and retest that level eventually. Okay, so you can see that I'm not forecasting this to be in a straight line, but if we get this corrective structure here like that, we will come back to that level. And coming back to that level with this move will simply mean now that the structure has changed and we are now getting this move like that. And that is similar to the move we have on EURCAD, which means that this will now be, let's show this in in this color. This will be a 1, 2, 3 waves. It's 1, 2, 3 waves, 1, 2, 3 waves, and a pulsing move to the downside and a pulsing move to the upside, making this a flat correction like that. Okay, so we already had 3 wave moves, 3 wave move to the upside. It went up in 3 waves. So now all we need to see is whether this will come back down with a V pattern, move up, possible move like that, another move like that, making this a 1, 2, 3 wave move to the downside with a corrective structure here. So the deeper it is, the more confirmation it is that this will retest the previous high in that level. Okay, and then this will be a 1, 2, 3 wave move, a 1, 2, 3 wave move, pulse down and up. Clear like that. So US dollar JPY, a little bit bearish, but it will be slow. Okay, so if it makes a diagonal there, let's have a look in the 4-hour. So if it starts making this diagonal, then you know that you're gonna have a bounce up. And when you get that bounce up, you know that it's only a 3 wave move to the upside and you're gonna get another move to the downside. Okay, so let's have a look at that. So, but if it bounces in such a way that it takes the top here, then that will change the structure, because that will take there, come back here, and the structure becomes a continuation pattern. But if it doesn't take that top, then you're still bearish to the downside, and it's going to be a deeper correction. I'm preferring the deeper correction before we go. Okay, that will make more sense. Either way, we're going to catch it when it confirms. So that's US dollar JPY. Now let's look at EURJPY. EURJPY has gone down in 5 waves. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the correction. And we're going to get a more downside here. Let's have a look if we're going to get something like that, and a bounce in 3 waves for another move like that. Okay, immediate term, let's have a look. 1 hour, we had a passing move to the upside. Not a convincing upside move, actually not convincing at all. You actually have continuation here in the euro. Okay, before we get to the move up. But because we are looking strong on the euro, so this may correct here. Looking at correlation, this cannot go down while the euro US dollar is going up at the same time. They are correlated, so at least a 3-wave bounce, you can expect at least a 3-wave bounce on EURJPY, even if it's not going to go all the way, 3-wave bounce and a further move to the downside like that. Okay, so they cannot do opposite things in the short term. Okay, all right, so that's EURJPY. Now the next one is CHFJPY. CHFJPY is making a very nice V pattern. Very nice V pattern. Let's check divergence. Okay, it's not showing much of divergence there, but that looks like a V pattern, so you'd expect a bounce. Okay, CHF and the euro are correlated as well, so a 3-wave move to the upside cannot be ruled out here. If you're looking at this V pattern here, you look for a move out of the pattern. It is correcting now. You can even get an entry point when it makes a flag for a move here, possibly even a move like that up to that level. Okay, that will mean we still need to continue lower. Okay, but for now, take it to that level if it confirms. All right, so that's CHFJPY. The rest of the yen pairs, AUD. Okay, so all the yen pairs, we're looking for short-term moves to the upside, very short moves to the upside. 1, 2, 3 here. You already have here, you already have 1, 2, 3, and let's go. Okay, we're actually on the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, let's have a look here. You've got 3-wave move up. 1, 2, 3, correction. and you're getting a push high up, you're getting this correction, you need to at least come and break this top before we get to move to the downside. So a little bit of bullishness on AUDJPY. You've got a clear pulsing move on the side, wait for this correction to complete. But this is a very short-term move, very risky. I'd rather wait for it to come down like that because this is a corrective structure. Okay, so that's AUDJPY, New Zealand. New Zealand, you can see also a small pulsing move to the upside. Looks like it wants to do this. Even if it does that, that means a three-wave bounce like that, making another three-wave up, giving you this whole thing as a correction for a further move to the downside. Okay, so waiting game in the next coming session on this pairs. Wait for them to see if you're going to get something like that. Three-wave structures. All right, so that's New Zealand. I think that concludes all the yen pairs. Okay, we still have the CAD pair. So CAD, clear pulsing move in three waves. Clear three-wave move up. Correction, 1, 2, 3. And now you're getting this pulsing move up, you're getting this correction. So if you wanted to trade a yen pair to the upside, this is the clearest one you can take. Take this one minimum to that level, it can still clear it even further to the upside. So that means CAD is still going to be strong in the next coming sessions. Okay, so CADJPY, look out for this correction, would be a very nice one to look at. All right, so now that concludes all the yen pairs. Now we can look at the CAD pairs, the pound pairs. Pound, let's look at the daily. So pound, we have been trading these for the last couple of weeks together with pound AUD. So I think I'm going to bring pound AUD as well and just do that comparison. We've been doing this for the last couple of days, comparing these two pairs, and they're going perfectly to the peep. Let's look at pound AUD as well. Okay, so it's pound AUD on the left, pound CAD on the right. Okay, so let's look at both of them at the same time and look at this correlation. Okay, so they both had a swing high. Let's show now. Clear up. So they both had a swing high to this swing low, swing high to this swing low here. So this one made a 1, 2, 3 waves. This one made a 1, 2, 3 waves. So the interesting thing is that these 3 waves on pound CAD was only made in, no, I've got pound AUD on the left hand side. So on the left hand side, we've got pound AUD that has made these 3 waves that are completed in May of last year. Let's do this. Let's get just to show where that one ended. So you can see that this 3-wave move on pound AUD completed in May last year, but this 1, 2, 3-wave move on pound CAD is only completing in May, only completed in May of this year. Okay, so now we are able to follow this similarity. In May, what happened after the 3-wave move? This broke this previous top and just came down with this move to the downside. So because this is happening now and this had already happened last year, we could follow this move. Okay, so we are following this move. We expected this bounce, and I'm going to show you why we expected this bounce as well. That is part of the structure anyway, but we also expected it because it happened here. If you look at here, down move, a bounce, and a move to the downside. So down move, a bounce, and a move to the downside. So we're still expecting this to carry on with this move because this came down all the way to the 88% of that. So I'm expecting that one to come down to the 88%. If you look at the previous videos, I expected that bounce while we were still coming down here. We expected that we're going to have a bounce here, and we even showed that we're going to have this pattern here. There's a pattern here. Let's see. Okay, we've got a pattern there. This one here, you can see we've got a Gartley pattern here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is XABC. So we expected the same thing on pound CAD, that it's going to give us this similar pattern. That is why we were expecting that we're going to have this bounce. And now we've got the bounce, and now we're expecting that to come down here to that level. And we're not just trading harmonics. Harmonics, we're just using that to confirm the patterns. Okay. And you can see here, this one dropped all the way to the 88. We're expecting this one to drop all the way down to the 88 as well. So I said when we're doing trade recap, I'm not going to show what the next move is then. I'm only going to show it when we do analysis now. So what do I expect? Do I expect this to just carry on with the move to the downside like that? Yes, I do. I'm expecting that this will just give, even if we can get a correction here, and this can just come down straight to the 88. Okay, I know there's a possibility that this may bounce here at this level before we come down. We cannot rule out that possibility. And either way, it doesn't really matter, because if it's going to do that move, it's going to give us a pulsing move and a correction, and it's going to come and retest. If it's not, and it's going to carry on straight, you're going to wait for this to correct here. Like that gives you a continuation structure, and we're going to take it all the way down to the 88. We are still holding this from right at the top. Okay, from right at the top, because from the top we expected this one to break the previous high, and we actually got in here. Easy when you're trading with correlation. All right, so that is how correlation can assist you in your trading on that one. So now let's go individually on the two pairs. I'm going to go back to US dollar CAD. Let's go CAD. And then I'm going to go back to, okay, this is actually pound AUD. So pound AUD has got this pulsing move to the upside, and it looks like it's making this move to the downside here like that. Looks like you're going to have one down before we get to the move here, because it needs to correct here. We've got a pulsing move to the upside. Now you're getting this correction. We need to get one more move up before we come down. Okay, so if we look on the 4 hour, if we look on the 4 hour, if you look on the 4 hour here, you're getting this move to the downside. Looks like you wants to give a one more drop before it goes to the upside. So we're looking for this. This is a corrective structure here. Okay, you can take this one back to that level. Back to that level before we get back to that one to complete the X over there. Okay, but for now you can take this one down. All right, very easy. It has already broken out of the flag, out of this corrective structure. You take it down at market open. Stop loss over there. All right, so that's pound AUD. Just recapping pound CAD again. So pound CAD has reached our target here. Remember, we had a move here. We expected the blue box, and we expected it to come back here. Okay, missed the target by a few pips, but I know that it's gonna drop even further here. And if it drops here and it starts correcting here, you know that it's gonna carry on with the move to the downside. I'm expecting that a pulsing move. This is the second alternative. Nothing wrong with the second alternative. It's just not afforded the most probability, but the first one is the one with the most probability, because it's going to be following the similar structure as the one on pound AUD. So this is the one I'm expecting. This one breaking this and all the way down. Okay, so now let's look at the rest of the pound pairs. Pound CHF. Okay, so pound CHF. Pound CHF made a very interesting structure. Hope you all caught that move. 1, 2, 3, a clear 1, 2, 3 wave move here, and then a drop here. Should have moved, got that move here on pound CHF here. See, 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up. A very clear textbook expanding flat before you drop. Now you've got 1, 2, 3 wave move to the upside. 1, 2, looks like it wants to drop one more. So let's see if it drops back there and come back for that one, and then it will be continuation to the downside. Okay, still bearish on this one. So watch this one come down, up. Start looking for entries if it gives you that structure. Start looking for entries to the at the top. Then you get a structure like that. Okay, so that is pound CHF on the 4 hour. And pound AUD we already looked at, pound CHF we looked at, pound New Zealand. Let's look at pound New Zealand now. So pound New Zealand, a clear drop. Okay, it's still gonna continue to the downside here. You've got a clear flag there. This is a 4 hour, so you need to wait for another confirmation on the 1 hour here to take it minimum that level. When it breaks that level, take it to break even. This can even come back down to that level. Okay, can even come back to that level, so keep an eye on that one. Right, so it's got a very clear structure corrective. It is corrective. When it corrects like this, you know it's going to go one way and one way only. Continuation to the downside. Don't rush this one. You may sell this one here and it starts correcting like that and retest that level here, giving you this as a 3-wave move before it drops. And by that time, you've lost money and you're not interested and you're going to watch it go. It's going to be very painful to watch all those pips go. All right, so that's pound in New Zealand. Did we do all the pound pairs here? CADCHF, AUD, New Zealand. That's all the pound pairs. Now let's do silver and gold before we do the euros. All right, if I missed any pound pair, you can just let me know. So let's look at gold. So gold, like euro, we're looking for short-term upside here. And I've been saying that gold, you are bearish long-term and you're going down all the way down. And this is the structure here. This move that is playing out on gold is this one. That is that move. We're looking for that one to come back minimum at least to that level. Okay, so whatever gold does, as I've been mentioning the last couple of weeks, whatever gold does, if it's going up, if it looks like it's going up, don't be interested in that for now, because that it will just be a correction for it to come back down to that level. Okay, so that's what happened there. We mentioned that it's not going up. Even here, we mentioned it's not going up. Here was a good entry point for downside. So now we're getting this move to this level. Okay, let's go into the lower time frame, 4 hour. Okay, now 4 hours doing the same thing. It's not going up. It's not going up. It's giving you a very nice corrective structure. 3-wave up, 3-wave pullback. Now it's giving you a pulsing move, possible correction in the lower degree in the 1 hour for this move here that will come back down here again because that will have made this 3-wave move. Okay, easy. So when it makes a structure like this, then you know you've got a nice entry point. Take it down even further. Okay, for now, the short-term move, the moves to the upside are short-term moves. So that is gold and silver, similar structure. Okay, this one looks like it has made, we can look at this one two different ways. A 3-wave move up and an expanding flat. Okay, so that's 3-wave move up, expanding flat, and a passing move. Now you're looking for this one to do this, and same as gold, you'll be looking for it to continue with a move to the downside because now that will be a 3-wave move like that. Easy. Okay, waiting game, wait for the corrective structures. All right, so now we can go into the euros. Let's look at EURCAD. Okay, we looked at EURCAD during the trade recap. Now, EURCAD can either do two things. It can do two things. Remember, this is where we sold EURCAD. Sold EURCAD right here. Okay, why? Because it had touched that level. Let me show you that level again. So where that comes from. It comes from the structure. It does not come from support or resistance. Okay. Even support and resistance traders will probably have gotten this one from here because it confirms that strategy as well. But we're looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, looking for a passing move to the downside. like that to complete this big flat correction. That's why even when it touched here, not a peep higher and dropped, we were not surprised because we were looking for the structure. And even when it corrected here, we were not surprised because the market does not go in a straight line. So now we've got this correction, and now this has gone down in 3 waves. So let's go down into the 4 hour and look at that correction, this piece here. 4 hour. So 2 things here. We've got 1, 2, 3 waves. You've got 1, 2, 3 waves. You've got 1, 2, 3 waves. Is this going to give us 1, 2, 3 waves again, giving us this bigger correction, deeper correction for that before we drop to the downside? It's possible, okay? But if it corrects right here, it can give you another one and come back down to this level, and it can even give you this structure. So you see there's still a number of possibilities, but either one of them will be confirmed by the type of structure that we're going to get in the next coming session. Now on Friday, this is how this closed. It closed with a move higher. That move higher does not mean anything at this stage until you get a correction. But even that correction does not mean anything, even if it is broken to the upside, because this can still just do that, not like that, give you that up, and then a move down, giving you this as a flat correction for a further move to the downside. But this may not even just do that. It may even be deeper, like that, up, and it gives you another one like that, another one like that, making this a deeper WXY. It's possible, but we know that the deeper the correction, the better the move in the direction of the trend. And at this stage, that is the trend to the downside. And if it does that, and it is this deep, and it gives us this deep correction like this, then that will change the structure of this whole pair, and we're going to be expecting a retest of the previous high at that level. Okay, we're going to expect the retest of the previous high. Okay, let's just show the structure. If it gives us this one here, this deep structure like that, then we'll expect this one to come back down here. And this can retest that move. It will not change anything. We'll still be bearish to the downside. Okay, so let's see how this plays out. On all the euro pairs, let's see how this moves. These small reversal 4-hour candles play out in the next coming sessions. All right. So that's how you look at EURCAD. Now looking at Euro New Zealand. Okay, so Euro New Zealand. We spoke about this 3-wave move to the downside. It's a clear flat correction here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that correction has completed there. Now the question is whether this is going to give us another X move and another correction, or if it's just going to go from here. Okay, so if it's like that, then that's a WXY move, and we're going to go from there. We have been looking only for this to give us a sideways correction for continuation to the upside, and that's what we're looking for. A W move, an X move, and a Y move before we get a move to the upside. So you may get this move here. It looks very corrective. If you get a break out of this, you can take this trade, take it back to that level. Okay, just be cognizant of the fact that that may not go all the way. It may just come and drop and give you another 3-way move to the downside like that. Okay, so that's Euro New Zealand. So there may be a potentially good trade to the upside on that one. That's Euro New Zealand, EURCAD we did, EURAUD. We're still together so far, guys. So EURAUD. We had a 3-wave move up like that. We're still looking at this as a 1, as a 2, possible 3 here before we go to the upside. Okay, I have to show you the overall structure on EURAUD. We've got a textbook ending diagonal on this pair that is already played out, done. Now what you're having here is a continuation pattern, and this continuation pattern is telling us that this is going to retest the top. So the question is when, And that is where timing comes in, and that is what we do in our group. So here you can see that you had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an A, and we're looking at this as a B, and then we're looking to come down like that. Okay, so if we get a move like this, then that means that there's still continuation to the upside on this pair. For now, you've got this correction here. You need to wait for this correction to complete and get a nice entry point to at least retrace that. It may even break it if it's going to give us an expanding flat and break that before it goes. Either way, doesn't matter. But let's see how you can take advantage here. Let's look on the 4-hour. So the 4 hours, as I've indicated, that we've got this 1, 2, 3 wave there, and you're looking for this one as a 1, and you're looking for this one as a corrective structure. Let's do it clearly. Okay, let's just do the straight line. Here you had this correction here. So that is the correction that's happening now before you get the drop, this drop, and a continuation to go and retest that level over there, this level here. Okay, so that's how we're looking at EURAUD. So you need to be able to follow the structure here so that you don't miss it. Okay, it should give you a nice entry point. So we've done New Zealand, CAD, AUD, Euro Pound, Euro Pound. Euro Pound looks like it wants to drop. Correction here, and a move down. Okay, so it has already tagged the level that we wanted it to take. See here, this level here. Okay, it just missed it by a few pips, but we can still accept that structure. So now we'll be looking for this to come down. Okay, that's our euro. And the one I spoke about last week, I said you need to watch, was EURCHF. And EURCHF, you needed to sell. You had 2 opportunities to take EURCHF. I said last week we were here. This is where we were last week. I said almost guaranteed, and I told you that our strategy has confirmed this downside. Okay, you had a move down in 3 waves, and now you get another 1, 2, 3 wave move down. So if you're taking this trade here, you should have got that move to the downside. Did not go aggressively as we anticipated, but you should have got that move. Very simple, confirmed by tagged all the rules. Okay, so let's see, this one is still coming down. This has got a similar structure as pound JPY, so that can drop all the way back to that level. But because it's going correctively, it may just be a 1, 2, 3 waves. Could come here, give us another 3 waves before it goes. Okay, so let's keep an eye on that one. For now, you can just keep taking it down. Actually, it has reached the level. You can exit that trade now. Okay, and wait for another entry point. Okay, so that's EUROCHF. All right, so now let's look at the, okay, we're done with the euro pairs. Okay, now we can look at the indices. Before the indices, we can look at some of the CAD and the AUD pairs and oil. So AUD in New Zealand, you've got here right after this impulse, you've got 1, 2, 3 wave structure. Is it making another structure that is going to give us 1, 2, 3 again, or a deeper correction here before we get a move to the upside? That's what you need to watch out for. It's not clear. It's a little bit messy at this stage, but what is clear here is that you had a 3 wave move, but this 3 wave is neither of the structures defined in the Elliott wave theory, because I've heard some people calling this a contracting flat, but there is no contracting flat in the theory. Okay, there's only a running flat, and a running flat does not have this structure. It cannot be. All right, so if you have discovered a contracting flat, then it must have been your new discovery, and it must you must describe the characteristics of that. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 possible, that is, this is a W, this is a X, and now we are making another X or a Y move here, a deeper correction basically before we go to the upside. Let's just have a look at the daily and see what the structure looks like here. Okay, so that is what it looks like. It still looks like a continuation to the upside. It is not done yet. Could even make a case for a V pattern. This one could still push a little bit higher before we come down. Okay, so that's Audi. If we just look at CADCHF, let's just see if we can see CADCHF here. Okay, CADCHF, 3 waves up, 3 waves pull back. Possible for this to come back down here and give you this move. Okay, even if it doesn't, it can just give you this move to that level. There's 2 possibilities. All right, so that's how you can look at that one. Now let's look at oil. So oil is busy correcting here. We had a passing move to the downside. 1, 2, 3. So we are busy correcting here. Let's go and look into the lower time frame. If you remember, this was our wave 4, and this was our 5. This was our 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's see if I can show the labeling here. Okay, that's 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that 5 is coming down in 5 waves, and this looks like it's an A move, and we are busy building a B. Let's look on the 4-hour and see how that B looks. It's clear. So on the 4-hour, you can clearly see here the 3 wave up, 3 waves back, and a move to the upside. Will this give you a correction and a drop here, and another move here, and a bigger correction like that? So we are still in this sideways correction on oil, and we will get confirmation when it is done, and I'm expecting that it will drop a little bit more to the downside before we get to the upside. Okay, so that's how oil looks at this stage. Right, so now we can look at the indices. Let's look at the S&P 500. S&P 500. Remember, we've been looking for this previous high here. Okay, just missed it. Can still push up higher. Okay, but for now, it looks like it has made a passing move down. It can correct here, come down before it comes back to that level. So we simply leave it looking for it to complete that move. So this bearish candle here doesn't mean anything. That can still come down here and still come and break that top. Okay, so that's what the S&P 500 looks like now. You will wait for this. It can come down correctively here. And if it does, then that is the last push higher to that level. We're going to expect a reversal or a bigger correction at that level. And this move would have completed at that level. All right, and next one is the NASDAQ. I've got a cleaner one here. So the NASDAQ, let's have a look on the daily. So the NASDAQ had already made its 3-wave move, and we looked at that move as a running flat. This is the 3-wave move on the NASDAQ. NASDAQ has broken and moved beyond. So that is leading all the moves. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now looks like you're going to correct all that 5-wave move before you carry on to the move, to carry on with the upside. So that will become a 1, a 2, and the lower degree becomes the 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and we're looking for this 2, and we still have a bigger move to the upside. Okay, so this correction is telling us that we still have continuation to the upside on the indices. Any move to the downside is just correction. Okay, so that is the NASDAQ. It is the NASDAQ UK 500. So UK 500 also looks like it wants to correct. On the daily, you had one very clear structure here. Now look at this structure. It's very clear. You've got one pulse move to the downside, correction here, and a move down. Okay, and then you're getting this corrective structure. You could expect another three-wave move to the downside before you go to the upside. So while the others are correcting to the downside, this will be doing exactly the same thing. So the indices are correlated. You can verify the strength of the correlation if you know how to. So that is UK 100 or the FTSE. Now looking at the Nikkei, you can see that's got a similar structure as the UK 100. You had that big correction in three waves there. Now we looked at this one as a corrective structure. So this can come back here and come down here before we retest this previous high that we're looking to take on the S&P 500 as well. Okay, so a correction like this will take us back to that level. So as much as they are correlated, you can see they're making relatively different structures. The DAX, okay, looking at the DAX, same three waves down, 1, 2, 3 with a V pattern. Now we're looking at this, a move to the upside, 1, 2, 3, correction, and we're looking for this move to the upside. So we're just looking for a correction here and continuation to the upside. Okay. I see I missed a New Zealand CAD. We'll do it towards the end. That is the DAX, and we can conclude the indexes by looking at the Nifty. You can see the Nifty has now reached the previous high. Okay, so we just need to see if this is going to correct from here, whether it's a correction or it's going to come back and retest this all the way for a move to the upside. This will be a clear flat correction to the upside. But otherwise, this can even just be a three-wave move here, correction before we push higher. So the Nifty is very clear. And if we just look at the Sun Pharmaceutical stock for my Indian colleagues, traders, Sun Pharma. I'm tracking this stock for one of my traders. Okay, so you've got, we actually bought this one right here at the bottom. So if you're not in here, no need to have the FOMO, that is the fear of missing out. Wait patiently for this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It can go all the way from here, but I think it will make more sense for it to come down here. It will have the right look and the right degree. And if it gives you this correction, you can hop on this trade. Okay, we've actually done an analysis on this one, and it is inch peep perfect. Okay, so it's going very well. That's where we took it, right at the bottom. Okay, so now we can look at the cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin. Looking at Bitcoin, so the cryptocurrencies have been following structure to the pip, and we've been spot on. If you remember, I have been looking at the same chart for since the beginning of this year when Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrencies started to drop. I expected them to make this sideways structure, and I have been showing this structure here. I've been showing this structure for the longest time. Every single webinar, if you watch every webinar, I've been showing this three waves down, come and retest here and retest the 10,000 level. Okay, not just the 10,000, if you can even retest back to the 12,000 level. That's what we have been looking at on the cryptos. But that does not mean reversal, because that can still come back down all the way to around 1,000 level on the cryptos. Okay, so it's not me, it's Wave Analysis. This was forecasted from last year already, and you can see the structure is playing out just like that. So wait for corrective structures here. It has to clear this if the structure is going to be a 1, 2, 3. There's a possibility that if it does not clear, you've got 1, 2, 3 at that level, and 3, and then up. The structure will still be the same. It is just not going to go immediately. It will be more sideways than we initially anticipated. and that does not change it in one bit. We just adjust our labelings accordingly like that. Okay, I'm not going to do that now. We're going to leave it as it is and stick with the first alternative, where we are looking for this to retest the top directly here. If it changes, then we'll adjust it. Okay, so that's how you look at it. Corrective structures. Let's see on the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, looking at Bitcoin, if you wanted to buy this one, it's a little bit tricky to buy that right now. You had a 3-wave correction down. You're getting 1, 2, 3 here. Okay, you may think that this is a flag to buy, but that flag can just come back and test that level, come back down before it goes. So be careful if you're buying there, that when you come to that level, you at least move your stop to break even. Okay, so that's what Bitcoin looks like. Now, Litecoin. Okay, Litecoin, a little bit different because this is not going up like Bitcoin. Let's show the whole structure on the daily. This is actually going sideways. It has made a 1, 2, 3 wave move to the down, to the upside. It is now making a corrective structure. This can give you another 3 waves. So if it's doing that, that can be for continuation to the downside. As much as Bitcoin is going up with a strong move, this one is going up correctively with a slow move. That's normal. So let's go to the 4 hour. So the 4 hour, we had this one making 1, 2, 3 waves. Now it's making 1, 2, 3. I'm anticipating that it may come back here slightly, break that, come back here, give us 3 waves like that. So it may be in a complex correction. You can be looking at it like that. Okay, so not very clear at this stage, or not tradable. The correction may play out like that, but it's not a very friendly trade to take. Okay, so that's Litecoin. Let's look at Ethereum. Okay, so Ethereum, unlike the other Bitcoin, other pairs, Bitcoin and Litecoin that have already tagged this level, Ethereum has not, and it's going now with a similar move as that one of Litecoin. It's going sideways, which means it can still drop lower. So watch out for this corrective structure to drop lower. But selling this here is tricky, because if you come back down here, now only then now this one can come back and retest the 850 area before it comes down. Okay. So that is Litecoin and it's Ethereum. Excuse me. And we're looking now at Ripple. Ripple has pushed out of the channel, but went sideways, similar to Litecoin and Ethereum. So it has made a continuation pattern, which is a 1, 2, 3 wave move. And in this case, it has also made a passing move to the downside. Now it's making this correction. That can correct like that, and it's showing us continuation to the downside. So we are looking bearish on Ripple. Okay, so that's all I had for you. And lastly, the one that I missed, Harry has requested the New Zealand CAD. Let's have a look at New Zealand CAD. Okay, so New Zealand CAD, you had a move up, a passing move, and now you're only getting a sideways move like that. You get a pulse, you get a 1, 2, 3 waves. So there's a possibility that you go and retest that level before you come back down to this level here. Okay, giving you this move like that. So let's just go zoom in closer. You can see there is a bit of a confirmation of a reversal at that level. There is actually, look at that. Look at that. This can actually be a nice one if you get a corrective structure here. and take it back to that level. Okay, let's go 1 hour. We've already done AUD New Zealand. You can watch the video. Dennis. Okay, so 1 hour. Wait for it to give you a clear corrective structure. Okay. All right, guys, that's all I had for you. AUD New Zealand, watch the video. It's already done. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe and share the videos. Thank you very much for watching. See you guys next week. All the best for next week. Cheers. Bye-bye.